Hello everyone, as the dev server has now released, we have been able to get a good look at the vehicles which are coming in this update, or at least a majority of them, as there could always be more that Gaijin decide to add last minute. This video will primarily be focused around the tanks to come in the update, and I shall do it in order by country, as well as from low tier to high tier. So let's begin. First we have the US with the M4026. This is a World War II prototype with a Sherman hull and a Pershing turret. Two very well known components put together. It sits at tier 4 6.0 and would be comparable to something such as the M36. With this however having a lot more armour and especially better at anti-air protection. After that, for the US is the M1 KVT. It's just an M1 with some cosmetic changes you can turn off. However, them turned on means that you have a set of large drums to the rear, so you cannot shoot rearward. Therefore, it is suggested to not equip these, as the KVT mod is also cosmetic only anyway, meaning it gives you no protection. Following that is Germany with the Panzer 38NA. This is a prototype upgrade of the Panzer 38T, which sits at tier 2 2.3. They are both somewhat similar, while the NA has slightly increased armour and mobility, while still using the small caliber gun, so expect similar gun performance to most other German tanks at that tier. Germany also got the Raketen, tier 5 and 7.3. We already got a dev blog of this vehicle before, so I have also covered it before, a mobile hull with the Swedish USH gun platform. After them is the Soviets. First up is the BTR-80A, tier 4 and 5.7, armed with a 30mm gun with only AP and HE, meaning it won't be too deadly against most tanks. It however has great mobility for flanking and can be used as well for anti-air purposes if needs be. Soviets also get the Object 435 8.3 at tier 6. It is a smaller alternative to the MBTs at the BR, while offering the same firepower and mobility, but having less armour, but not by much. Next up is Britain. After 2 years they finally received their starter vehicle for the South African line, an armoured car with a 2-pounder at 1.3, very similar to something like the Daimler, and great if you're going for a full armoured car lineup. They also got the T-90S, a Soviet MBT from India for the British tree, as a squad vehicle. It was available in the dev server by changing files for the hangar and was not really publicly available. I could not find information as I'm recording this, but I will post a picture up of the vehicle just to let you look at it from there. After that is Japan, which only got the Type 87 RCVP, meaning for prototype. It is a tier 4 5.7 vehicle similar to the BTR, which is also coming in the update, a earlier version of the Type 87 which already exists in the Japanese tree. Most likely it is such a lower BR because of the lack of AP FSDS rounds, which the later version has. Then of course after Japan we get China. First the vehicle they get is the Object 211 at tier 3 and 5.0. This is their replacement to their PT-76, which is also being removed shortly after the update is released, so if you would like a rare vehicle for China, then I would suggest grinding it out to get it before it is removed forever. Well, seemingly anyway. It is a Type 63 modification, similar to the PT-76, but has the T-3485 gun, as well as having the later rounds, similar to what the T-44 have, meaning that it will have very good penetration at the BR. And after that one they got the ZTZ-88B, tier 6 and 8.7. It is almost identical to the A variant which currently exists in their tree already. It is just slightly worse penetration because the gun is smaller and has slightly less velocity. I'm not entirely sure why they added this in the first place. It was just more padding for the update, I guess, to get more vehicles out. After that one, we then get Italy, which got the Freccia tier 7 and a 10.0, a high battle rating IFV or armoured car for the Italians, which comes with the standard armament for anti-infantry vehicles, as well as having spikes. as only them and China have them with their locking capabilities with the missiles. After that is France with the ALF F1 AMX-30 modification of an artillery system, Tier 5 and 7.0, this of course being the first artillery besides the event premium for France, around the same battle rating as the other artillery systems which are in-game. They are slowly adding an artillery piece to each nation, and France at least get theirs, which will be a very fun addition. Then for Sweden we have the Sherman 3-4, a Tier 3 3.7 premium, a very nice addition to Sweden for grinding, or just as a good lineup, as this now means that Sweden will have their own vehicles plus a T-34, Panzer IV and a Sherman in a single lineup. A very good vehicle for the grind, and the armour layout makes it very strong as it has no hull weak points, but having a slightly weak turret to go along with it. Sweden then also got the CV-9030 Finn, a Tier 6 9.0 vehicle, a earlier version of the 9040 they already have, lacking almost all armour and just having a 30mm instead of a 40mm, which is why it is a lower BR, as the ABFSDS rounds that the 30 has much less penetration than the one which the 40 had. And finally, for tanks that are coming in the update so far, as we know, is the Magak Hydra, a Tier 6 8.3 vehicle for Israel. This just being another standard M40 or M60 vehicle for Israel, apart from the fact that it is of course equipped with Hydra missiles. They are not well equipped for short range as they are angled slightly upwards, meaning that they will be decent against longer range vehicles. Overall meaning it has a much higher firepower capability, especially against several armoured targets at once, but it lacks all ERA armour, meaning that you are much weaker to heat rounds. That is about it for all the ground vehicles that are coming in this update. If I do manage to get around to the other types of vehicles such as planes and ships, I will make a video about them as well. I'm just rather busy right now, but hopefully I get around to doing it. But anyway, that is it for now, so I shall see you later.